Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan McQuaid with the Words Watch. Hi,
Hey,
Tiana. How you
Ryan.
doing?
How you
How you,
doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
I'm so excited to talk to you about this performance in this incredible film.
Thank
Um, I want to start up at the front with just a simple question: what was it like getting the call from Paul um, that he wanted you to be in this film, and what were your first thoughts on the script and playing Perfidia?
It's so crazy because I remember the day that PTA called me. I was actually on a road trip coming back from Coachella. So you know that traffic is stupid.
Back to back. Yes.
Back to back, going and leaving.
Hmm.
Insane. You know how that can get. This road trip start off fun, then you're like, all right, I'm tired, I'm over it. Boom, boom, boom. I get this call, like, hey, what's up? I'm like, who the hell is this? I'm tired. I'm like, who the hell is this? He said, what's up? It's Paul Thomas Anderson. When I tell you the every bit of tiredness left every bit of my body, I stood up straight like, oh, hey, what's going on? Life is great. Life is good. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? And it was just so funny because the moment I knew it was him, it was a yes. I didn't
Hmm.
know about the script. I didn't know about the name. I didn't know about nothing. But we instantly got into it, and he started to tell me about this character that he felt was very special to him, and she was very complex, and she was so complex that we had to have so many conversations about her because I'm
Hmm.
like, well, what is she? Who is she? And like we kind of was just building Perfidia as we went. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of them things that you can't even explain with words. You just got to see it. You know what I'm saying? And you see that on screen because Perfidia is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? She's a busybody. So it was really dope to build her layers with him. He's such a collaborator, and I appreciate that so much. So we were like building Perfidia in real time and really finding her magic on the set. So everything was very, very conversational, and then like, learning her name was fire. I'm like, it was an instant classic character name for me personally. I'm like, oh, this shit is iconic. It's like so iconic that I was actually really, really mad that Perfidia means what it means because I'm like, this is a good ass name. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, it was dope. And that's kind of how we got into it all. And then we did, screen tests and chemistry reads and all types of stuff. And we just was finding her. We was finding her every layer.
I want to talk about the process of finding her and her complexity, like you mentioned. Um, she's the face and one of the leaders of the French 75, but she leads differently than like Deandra and others. Can you speak to your conversations with Paul about Perfidia's idea of what a revolution looks like and how that might clash differently than what others have for an idea of what the French 75 is supposed to be?
I mean, I think the importance with Perfidia, not only as a character, and not only just as a character, but also being realistic in Perfidia's purpose. Perfidia sets the tone for what the next 2 hours of this movie is about to be. She is the anchor. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, Perfidia needed to make these decisions and she needed to she needed to fall for Willa to rise. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so important. You feel what I'm saying? Like she
Hmm.
came, she did what she needed to do. She got caught up, and then her getting caught up haunted Bob and Willa after that. You know what I'm saying? But only pushed Willa's inner Perfidia to go and hold it down. And I think that's why that ending note is so important. Are you trying to change the world like I did? We failed, but you will not. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's so important. If everything went the way we wanted it to go for Perfidia, how would we have set the tone for such an amazing story to come behind? You get what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah.
most importantly, going into this movie, understanding what Perfidia needed to do to create this space for Willa.
Yeah.
So that was the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's complex, she's all over the fucking place, she's this, but we still empathize with her. We still got this little
Yes.
soft spot for Perfidia. She's still dealing with postpartum depression. She's still, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. And we don't agree with a lot of things that Perfidia do. But one thing we can all agree on is that she's unapologetically herself and she's a badass.
Yes. Absolutely. the two men in her life are complete opposites in every way, Pat and Lockjaw. And you can tell a lot about Perfidia's how she values those relationships based off, I think, a lot of the facial expressions that you make in and out of scenes with these men. For Pat, it's about passion and love and energy. Like when you're leaving the bathroom and you see him as you're walking out after you plant the bomb. But then also for Lockjaw, there's like a quiet sorrowfulness. That energy is kind of gone in your performance when you leave the motel or when you're making the deal with them in the hospital. And so I wanted to ask you about your process of creating those two sides of Perfidia we see and how vital it was to distinguish those relationships in ways outside of Paul's dialogue.
Honestly, excuse me, I love that you asked this question, and I love your attention to detail because a lot of people misconstrue Perfidia, and I've been hearing so much about all the think pieces and, oh, she's horny, she's this, she's that, she's the third. You can see that she really, really did love Bob. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That was her ghetto pat. And with Lockjaw, it was very transactional. It was about, for both, it was a pissing contest between her and Lockjaw. It was a power thing for Perfidia, and Perfidia got greedy and it backfired. You get what I'm saying? Because she had the opportunity to kill him at any moment. But then again, if we kill Lockjaw, there is no movie. You get what I'm saying? So that's also the other complexity about it and what made it dope to play her, because it's just like, yeah, Perfidia, I could really kill you right now, but that's not what it's about. I enjoy the power. I
Hmm.
enjoy doing this, you know?
Hmm.
I enjoy weaponizing what I have because the first time I met you, I put a gun in your head and you called me sweet thing. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. So now it's a game with
Yeah.
them. You know what I'm saying? I think even in the parts where you see Perfidia dealing with postpartum depression, we don't ever really, besides the end, we don't really know whose baby that is. Nobody's taking out the time to be like, wow, does she maybe resent the baby because that is a product of lockjaw? Was the relationship ever consensual? You get what I'm saying? Like, is that what she wanted to do, or is that what she felt like she had to do? You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's just like, and that's another reason why I feel like it's such a beautiful piece. Like, it's a beautiful movie that you should watch more than once. I think it's very overwhelming that first time you watch. I think everybody's trying to process it and take it all in. I think once everybody see it that second and third time, it just ages so beautifully and ages so gracefully, and you start to really catch other little things. So it's really, really dope that you caught those small details because, yeah, you do see the difference. You see the emptiness when she's with him, and even the part where he thought that, okay, I have her in protective custody, and I'm about to just be over here sending flowers, about to live happily ever after. She got the fuck up on out of there. She got up out of there. You
Yes,
know what
she
I'm saying?
did.
So it's just like I feel like that's the part where it's like if you've seen it more than once, I feel like those people that give Perfidia a lot more grace when you really, really dive into the decisions and sacrifices that she had to make.
Yeah, I've seen it 8 times. So I've got all the details
See, but that
for
that
this.
one, that's crazy, and thank you so
I
much for
know.
the support.
I
But
mean, I love
two,
it. I took it. I've taken
well,
everybody
that's
to
what I'm
see this
saying.
thing.
But two, that's why it makes so much sense why you're so detailed. I'm telling you, if you watch it more than once, you
Yeah.
watch it more than twice, you empathize with her. It's like you have this soft spot for her. It's like, and I also think that's the humanity of it all. She's so
Hmm.
flawed. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Hmm.
that it kind of hit different when you want a person to be the superhero in the end. And guess what? She's not. She
Yeah.
made her baby that. That's what she set up for Willa. I
Yeah.
failed at trying to change the world,
Yeah.
but you will not. And I think that that's why that letter at the end is so important. Do you have love? Are you happy? Did
Yeah.
Perfidia feel like she had love? Did she feel like she was happy? I think she's asking her all the questions that she wanted to be asked.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, I wanted to ask you about the postpartum and the jealousy of her child. Her becoming a mother is a lot for her to process. She's making a tough, in her mind, necessary decision to continue the revolution and not conforming to domestic life with Pat. And can you talk about conveying her internal struggle of coming to terms with bringing a part of herself into this world, but feeling that she's losing something in
Mm.
return of herself, her freedom, her independence from the revolution?
I think, it's tough because for me as a mother, I would not have walked out. on my baby. But at the same time, who are we to judge how somebody handles postpartum? We seen why that was the result. We seen, you know, Bob put his ear at the door and he did not step in. That was the cry out for help. You could have stepped in right there. You get what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I may not agree with how she did it, but one thing that I can relate to is I know how it feels sometimes. It feel like I'm all I got.
Yeah.
And I think once she seen that her cries weren't being heard, her vulnerability, she didn't feel seen. I felt like she gained her power in saying, I'm all I got. Ain't nobody there for me but me. And I think that's what gave her the strength to walk away. She was tired of allowing things to block her. But another side, I do feel like she was greedy. You know what I'm saying? I think she enjoyed the power. I definitely think that she was prideful. I definitely think that she was egocentric. I think all of the things. But like again, I also think she was very human and very flawed and, again, unapologetically herself. And I don't feel like she made all these decisions herself, being fetishized and being over sexualized and like Perfidia was just she liked the power. So if
Yeah.
that was weaponizing the pussy, then that's what she did. You know what I'm saying? And then holding on to that power, if that was her walking away from the idea of being a stay-at-home mom or having this family life, that wasn't for her. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it's just like most likely I'm probably pregnant by someone that I didn't plan on seeing myself have a future with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And just like not wanting to be caged in for domestic life, she doesn't want to be caged in by
Don't want to
Lockjaw later
She
when
won't
she
be beaten
makes the
by
deal.
anybody. Exactly.
Nope,
She
she
don't,
does not.
and even at the result of giving everybody up, she said, "Listen, I'm out of here on all y'all."
Yeah.
It cost a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But she was out of there.
But then it goes to the letter like you were talking about, and in her and all the guilt and the and leaving her family and all that, it comes in through your performance when you hear that in the letter. Can you talk about how you recorded that? And also, did you have time with Chase to see how she was playing Willow or some of her scenes to connect with her? Because as much as this movie is about fathers and daughters, it is about mothers and daughters in this moment of connecting between the past and present in hope of forgiveness as well as also a spark of hope for the next revolution.
Hmm. Um, I think that personally, PTA had us not meet
Hmm.
for a minute. Like we didn't meet for a minute. And I think that that was important to him because it made her really wonder. You know what I'm saying? Because not only my
Hmm.
perfidia, but like I'm still, me. So she's like, I wonder what she's like. I wonder. I think that wonder of like, I wonder who's playing my mom. Like, I wonder, if she's nice, is she sweet? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then as a character, like I think that it gave her that real wonder. And I thought that was dope of him to make us not meet so soon.
Hmm.
I think when we met, it was like a random scene that we didn't have together, of course, and I was able to love on her. So I think being able to see her that once or twice when it was time for that letter, I missed her. This is a person that is my baby, and I missed her. And it was like he kept both of us the right amount of hungry for one another, and I
Hmm.
think that that's what made us play into the characters so well,
Yeah.
not being able to just, love on her and be up under her 24/7. It's just like, no, like I got to see her a few times and it was like, and just like that, like she was just taken away from me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just like, oh, do you have love? Are you happy? Boom, boom, da da da.
My last question to you is throughout this press tour, you have about your admiration for PTA, your love for this man, his filmography, but you've also said this phrase, let that man cook. And you talked about that a lot with this movie. So I wanted to ask you as my last thing before I'm out of here was when was the first time you watched a Paul Thomas Anderson movie and realized that feeling of, man, this man, let this guy cook, and you connected with him that much? And then what was that also feeling for you when you finally sat down and saw the final film? Was it a scene with you early on? Was it the chase scene with the hill? Because I know you talked about that at an IMAX that could like get you kind of sick. but like, when was the first time you really felt the connection with PTA's films as a viewer?
Mm. Probably when I watched Boogie Nights at an age that I had no business watching Boogie Nights at, and you feel me? And then like,
Same way.
you know, just yeah, and just going down a rabbit hole of his work and you know, even certain things that when I went down a rabbit hole, like once I started working with him and then going down the PTA rabbit hole, even movies that I've seen at younger that I didn't even realize was his,
Hmm.
and then it's like you go and then the year when I'm actually old enough, you know, Licorice Pizza come out and I'm just like, yo, this man really be cooking. You know what I'm saying? And I love learning new things. But most importantly, his gentle leadership and who he is on set and what he brings out of you. I'm like, this is a master class, especially me as a director and gearing up to, direct my first feature film. I'm already in a whole different bag. I'm like a sponge. I'm soaking it all up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, really let this man cook. And I'm also in culinary school right now. So everything that I do is in cooking terms. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let this cook. And even with his gentle leadership is something that's so important in culinary. You know what I'm saying? So like doing that at the same time and just like, nah, let this man cook. He is cooking down, like, and then seeing it for the first time all come together. Because we've been going to the dailies to see what's going on, but we're filming out of order. So to see it all come together, I was just in here like, this man is a fucking mad scientist. Like, and I knew he was a mad scientist. I knew he was a genius, even from when I would be, on the phone with him when he was just still trying to like create these layers of these characters. And I always tell him, like, you the fucking go. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mhm.
Get out your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out your head. Because everything is fine. Everything is perfect. He the
Yeah.
go.
Tiana, thank you so much for your time. You're absolutely wonderful in this. I can't wait to watch the movie again. I still have people in the family I got to
Hey, I
see the
love
film with,
that. I love
but
that. I think you
but
get the award for watch. You might have seen it more than me.
well, it's everybody at our site. We've seen it multiple
Now I gotta
times.
go and top you. I'm going to the movies tonight. I'm going to the movies tonight.
There you go.
My
There you go.
Ryan. Going to the
Thank you,
movies tonight.
Tiana. You have a wonderful
Thank
rest of your day.
you so much. You too.